a deep breath in and out. Before we sing Lecha Dodi, we review the week. The Psalms help us review the week, the Psalms that we've been singing. We hold on to the joy of the past week, and we try to just let go a little bit of what may be heavy that we're carrying with us. Maybe take a smile and recognize a quick joy that you enjoyed. Something that you're holding on to that was special from this past week. Even if it was a moment of appreciation. Page 29, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Lekabela, Shamor v'zachor b'diburecha, Ishmiyanu el haricha, Adonai echad u'shemoecha, B'shem u'tiferet v'niktetila, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Lekabela, Likrat Shabbat, Mechuvenecha, Ki Bekor Averacha, Berosh V'kerem Nefsucha, Sof Ma'aseh B'machshava Techila, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Lekabela, Hitoreri, Ki ba'orech, Umirori, Uri, Shirtareri, Kevod Adonai alaychita, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Lekabela. Please rise, Bo'i b'shalom, Ateret ba'ala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, Toch emunei al sekula, Bo'i chala, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Lekabela, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Lekabela.
We are ready to greet Shabbat, page 75, Baruch Hu.
And we have a new old tune for Baruch Hu that maybe you might remember from a long time ago. La, 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 la. Ya, la, 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 la. Ya, la, 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 la. Ya, la, 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 la. La, 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 la.
Page 75, creation, wonder, earth. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chokhmah poteh she'arim, uvitbuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem, birakira kirtzono. Wow, God, this was an incredible week of the harvest moon. Everyone noticed the harvest moon for many days, the full moon, and even with the clouds in the sky, we could see her shining through the Kochavim and the Yareach. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Beloved are you, compassionate one, in this serene hour of nightfall.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Page 79.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
This week's Torah portion is Vayera, and Vayera means, and he saw. At the beginning of the portion, Abraham sees something. And I'm wondering, what did we each see this week? What did you see that maybe you forgot about and now you're noticing again? What did you see that might have brought a smile to your face? What do you see now that you just want to take in? Maybe it's inside you, maybe it's within your family, amongst your friends or coworkers. Maybe it's just walking on the streets or driving here this evening. What did you see that you just want to hold on to? Vayera, and he saw. Mi Chamocha, page 81.
La 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 la
page 83.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינחש, וביום השביעי שבת וינחש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Page 87, we rise for the Amidah.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 This is on page 93. I hope that's right. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
Join us, page 92.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. 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 תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
There's a colleague that I learn with on the East Coast, and he's having a hard time with his family right now. And he teaches Tuesday to Friday, and I catch him whenever I can. And on Wednesday, when he was teaching, he said to the class, you know, I'm just so miserable. I was going to email all of you and just say, forget it, you know, I'm not going to teach today. I need a break. But he did it, and he thanked us and said, you know, sometimes Torah can be healing. And I was thinking that also myself, and how healing Torah can be, and I was thinking about hearing the sounds of the baby and how that can be a sound of healing also for some of us. For some of us, it can bring up anxiety, but, you know. And, you know, just seeing the children in our nursery school walking in today and seeing all the little tushies, that can be very healing for me. There's so many ways that we can be healed and that we can heal ourselves and heal each other. And so we're going to turn now to Misha Berach, to the prayer for healing, and just maybe recall some people in your life that are in need of healing. And if you want to turn to the people around you and just share a name of someone who you're thinking about and holding, who is in need of a prayer for healing right now. Page 239, Misha Berach.
Le'imo
So this week's Torah portion, Vayera, is indeed about seeing, but we shockingly see and read something pretty disturbing in this week's portion, and it shakes us to our core. You know, it's only the fourth portion. We're just starting to get into the Torah, into the Hebrew Bible, and all of a sudden, wham, we're hit with the Akedah. We're hit with the story of the binding of Isaac. And we read it about a father, Abraham, who takes his son Isaac up to a mountain and almost sacrifices him until an angel says to him, Abraham, Abraham, stop, don't do that. And we think to ourselves, this is the Hebrew Bible? This is what we're supposed to find some wisdom from? This is gross. This is horrible. This is shocking. And I would venture to say that yes, probably the editors, writers, and I put all of that in quote, of the Hebrew Bible wanted us to be shaken up, wanted us to be grabbed by the neck and say, no, this isn't right. This isn't what we do as Jews. So I'm not going to talk about any of that. What I am going to lift up is what happens to Abraham when he gets to the place where he almost sacrifices his son. And there's a curious verse. The verse is, Vayar et hamakom merachok. And after 3 days of traveling with his son Isaac to the place that God's supposed to show him, Vayar et hamakom merachok, Abraham looks up and sees the place from far. It's a packed phrase. Just this small phrase is packed. First of all, hamakom, the place, is another word for God's name. So some people teach that Abraham saw God's presence, right? The Kutzker Rebbe has a very famous story. His students ask him, Kutzker, Rebbe, where is God? And the Rebbe answers, wherever you let God in. That's the whole story. So let's start with ourselves. Let's start with now. We're looking up. We're noticing. Do you feel God? Not sure. What would it take for me to feel God in this place? What would I need to open up inside myself and be in awe of, or be in wonder of, or notice? Not sure. I'm asking the question, what would it be to see God within myself, within the person I'm looking at? Maybe that might be a little easier for me. Rashi, the 11th century French commentator, teaches, how did he know that he came to Hamakom, the place? Because Rashi teaches there were clouds above the mountain. Clouds above the mountain. And the clouds could have indicated the uniqueness of the mountain, because remember, they're in the middle of the desert in Israel. You don't see clouds very often, so that sort of takes you by surprise. It could also be the foreshadowing of the clouds of glory that were on top of Mount Sinai when the Jews received the Ten Commandments. Either way, clouds are a sign that he had arrived. I want to offer another interpretation of Rashi's teaching on clouds, and it's by Rabbi Erin Lieb-Smokler. She's a rabbi in New York, Orthodox woman who is ordained as a rabbi. And she teaches that it seems to me that what Abraham understood upon seeing the cloud was the essential cloudiness of his relationship with God. He saw that the charge of the Akedah of killing his son, with all of its horror and confusion, was precisely about reckoning with unclarity, with paradox, with absurdity, with God who contradicts and undermines God's self, with promises that seem to be broken, covenants that seem to be shattered. Abraham came to understand at this moment that to approach God is to have an ongoing spiritual life that would require a difficult and maybe continuous encounter with cloudiness. And she ends by teaching that Abraham understood that God doesn't always provide us with easy paths or loving ones, but that we are still to climb a mountain after mountain after mountain. And even though the horror of Abraham's trial is reserved only for Abraham, that complicated call of cloudiness remains for all of us. So the question we're left with is, can we enter the fog of cloudiness with God? And also the cloudiness of even knowing ourselves deeply, of being able to admit that I don't quite really fully know myself. My fears, my inadequacies, my desires, my hopes, my strengths, my struggles, let alone the person sitting next to me, or my family mate, or my roommate, or my coworker. Generally, all of us live in clouds. We're not clear. We're all in a fog. We live in a cloud. And what that means is to live a spiritual life, is to admit that life sometimes doesn't make sense. It's unclear. It's practically impossible to figure out. Abraham lifted up his eyes, Vayar et hamakom merachok. He saw from afar, merachok. Why from afar? Why didn't it just happen all of a sudden? Why was it far away? Because we never quite get there when it comes to God. It's like that mathematical word. I just learned this word. Maybe you're smarter than me and you know it, or maybe you're like a mathematical nerd. But the word asymptote, it's two lines that come close together but never actually touch, right? They're always coming toward each other, but they never actually touch, asymptote. And that ties into last week's portion, Lech Lecha. We're all on this journey together, this journey that's like an asymptote, not knowing fully, paying attention to the mystery within ourselves, the wonder, the longing around us. Having our heads in the clouds is not usually perceived as a good thing, but that's where we're dwelling this week, in the clouds. When might being in the clouds be nourishing to you? And notice when you might resist being in the clouds. So this Shabbat, I'll join you in the clouds. I may not be able to see you because, it's cloudy, but that's okay. We'll know that we all have each other.
I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's cloud illusions. I recall, I really don't know clouds at all.
Nice. We're at the mourner's Kaddish, where we remember those who are no longer with us. And this week's my dad's yortzeit. I think it's about 9 years. So I notice that as he goes farther in the distance from me, certain things do certain things actually become clearer about who he was. So It's nice to both be cloudy of his memory, but also really hold the beauty that he gifted me. And this week we also remember Henry Bernhardt, Richard Drapeau, Shirley Fisher, Rosalind Foyer, Richard Jolson, Yvette Coulter, Yaffa Koresh, Barbara Court, Fred Krautheimer, Ari Langstein, Donald Melman, I said Hushang Masagia, my father, Renee Peretz, Marty Rosenbaum, Magda Rosgani, Betty Rubin, Morris Safian, Harry Schwartz, Celia Schwartz, Martin Schabel, Donald Smith, Anna Sinnenberg, and Leon Tinberg. Also, during these 30 days of Shloshim, we've laid to rest Shana Cooperman, Hannah Glicksman, and Rachel Davies Miller. And just this week, we have 4 unfortunate recent deaths to announce. They haven't yet been buried. Jerry Liebman, the aunt of Abby Liebman and great aunt of Laura Donnie and Phil Donnie. Rose Nitkin, the mother of Bob Schneiderman. Renee Ruslow, a close friend of Bob and David Schneiderman. And Helena Hutchins, a close friend of Rachel Mason, who died on the movie set today. Zichronam Livracha, may all their memories be for a blessing. If I did not mention the name of someone who you're saying Kaddish for, please rise and share their name now so we can honor them. And if I did mention a name, or if you're in the first year of mourning, please rise to say Kaddish for them as well. And we rise with the mourners on page 292 as the mourners lead us in Kaddish. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divrach hirutei, bi'al mich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayet kol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam al mei al maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudashah brechu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Thank you.
Oh, say shalom. B'Rama. Oh, say shalom. B'Rama. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, set shalom.
I don't know if you noticed, I did something funny. After I finished Mourner's Kaddish, I said, thank you, right? I never do that, but because I was saying Kaddish for myself, right? I was thanking you for being here to say Kaddish for me. It really is a mitzvah to help someone say Kaddish. So we really are a community when we show up for one another and help each other say Kaddish. So Sydney's going to come back up and lead us in Kiddush. But while she's doing that, please find someone behind you or in front of you, introduce yourself, and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Okay, we're on page 294. 294 in the middle.
Ooh, let me get you your microphone so you can be heard. Check, check. Yep.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehila, lemikra kodesh, Zecher letzion Mitzrayim, Kivanu bacharta, Yatanu kidashta, Mikol ha'amim, V'shabbat kodshecha, Ve'achava uvratzon, Hinhaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim. Okay. Put it down and do motzi.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
Uncover the collar. Uncover it.
Okay.
Baruch atah
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz,
v'te'avon. Yay!
We look forward to being with you this week. If you're new here, please walk up to us and introduce yourselves and turn to the people around you and introduce yourself as well. We're going to close with Ein Keloheinu, page 352.